제 121회 나도 따라갈 걸 그랬어.
안녕하세요. Hello everyone and welcome to Let's Speak Korean. I'm your host Lisa Kelley and welcome to our 121st show. It's getting longer and longer, okay? And today's main expression is 나도 따라갈 걸 그랬어. Okay? Oh, I should have gone with you. Once again, showing regret, assume. Oh, I should have been there. I should have done that. I should have gone there. And, I should have introduced Steve sooner. Oh, Steve.
Hi, Lisa. 안녕하세요. I'm Stephen Revere. You know, when they handed us the script, I looked at it and went, oh my God. I think they thought this was pretty easy. The Korean people who wrote this out for it, they all seem like easy expressions to Koreans. But actually, we've got a lot to explain to you guys in a short period of time. So we'll move on to our next introductions.
안녕하세요, 네오미입니다.
안녕하십니까, 컬린입니다.
Right. And right before the program, me and Naomi went to one of the very big 백화점s, I'm not going to say the name, right across the street from here. And we had a really good time. We had some coffee, some bagels, lots of shopping. And I called Steve and said, hey, we're not going to start for a couple hours. Come on over here. And he's like, no. And I bet you're regretting it now.
Well, I regret not having you bring me coffee. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to find out how to say that in just a moment here. Let's go and check out our lesson in Let's Do It.
Let's do it.
이거 10만 원짜리인데 만 원에 샀다.
나도 그날 따라갈 걸 그랬어.
Okay, the first expression we heard, it sounds pretty difficult, sounds pretty big, but it's actually not that difficult once you know what we're talking about. Exactly. So the first expression we heard was 이거 10만 원짜리인데 만 원으로 샀어. This is worth 100,000 won, equivalent of about $80 to $90. But I bought it for 10,000 won. I bought it for about $8. Wow, big discount there. All right? And we're hearing this word daddy. And I remember us talking about 제 before, which is a placement, ordinal numbers, like my first son, second son, or I came in first
totally
place,
different
second
word.
place. Yeah, but they sound similar, and so don't get them confused. We're talking daddy this time.
Yeah, we talked about 짜리 before when we talked about bills, right?
Exactly.
5,000원짜리 and 만 원짜리. Yeah.
And we're talking about that again. We have the 만 원짜리 at the end. So there, we took care of 3 words there.
Except now it's totally different because all of a sudden you're talking about a piece of clothing or an item of any sort, piece of furniture, whatever. It's 10만 원짜리. It means it's worth 10만 원.
Right.
Right? It is a piece of clothing or something that is worth that amount, whereas you could think of a bill as well. You could think of the bill as being a 10만 원짜리. It's worth 10만 원, right? So anyway, some other things that could be confusing. It starts out with 이거. Okay. Now where does this come from? We know 이것이, right? We learned that before. That means this thing, right? Then we learned 이게, right? Oh, that means this thing. And now we've got 이거. Once again, we've got another way of saying thing, okay? 이거 is another way of saying this thing, and that is followed by 10만 원짜리인데, one of those all-purpose connectors there that get stuck in the middle.
And you'll hear this a lot. Like, it's just like the English language. That one, this one, okay? 이거, 저거, 요거, okay? You'll hear all of these, and it all means this thing, okay? It's just, the only difference is in distance. So it could be closer to you or farther away, or you could be pointing at it, okay?
And then you've got that followed up with 만 원에 샀어. Now, the thing to notice here, I think, is 만 원에. Notice you're saying, I bought it for a certain price. You use the marker A to talk about the price that you bought it at.
Okay, let's try this sentence out first. Okay, it's a little difficult to say. 이거 10만 원짜리인데 만 원에 샀어. You want to break it right before the 10만 원짜리인데.
이거 10만 원짜리인데 만 원에 샀어. Wow,
Very good.
Very cheap.
And girls go shopping all the time. They love to get all these great deals. And then the first thing they do is say, oh, look, guess how much I bought this for? And then they tell you, and then you guess, and then they say, oh, it was worth $200, but I got it for $5. So this comes in pretty handy. Let's try something else. I'll give you a
나도
different...
그래.
Oh, you do? Really?
나도 그래.
Okay, we'll try something else. 이거 20만 원짜리인데, that's 200,000 won. 5만 원에 샀어. Okay, I bought it for 50,000. Naomi, one more time.
이거 20만 원짜리인데 5만 원에 샀어.
Okay. 나도 그날 따라갈 걸 그랬어. I should have followed you that day. Right?
Yes. 나도, of course, is me too. I also. And then 그날, that day. 따라가다. Whoa. Now,
follow someone.
you know 가다. You've heard 가다 before. 따라. Now, sometimes, those of you who are taking Korean classes, you will hear your teacher often say, 따라하세요. 따라하세요. Repeat after me, right? Notice, 따라 has a repeat meaning to it. Also, you will hear 따라가다, right? That is, follow somebody somewhere. So, I wish I had followed you. Notice the sentence ending there.
Exactly. It's really difficult for foreigners to use this and getting used to using this. 걸 그랬어. Showing 후회 or assume, regret. Okay. 나도 따라갈 걸 그랬어. I should have followed you, Stephen.
Yes, and it is a challenging thing just to say. Repeat after me. 그랬어.
그랬어.
갈 걸 그랬어.
갈 걸 그랬어.
Good job, yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of difficult because you've got those same consonants in there, but all of a sudden the vowel in the middle kind of switched, didn't it? 갈 걸 그랬어, yeah. So it's a little bit challenging to repeat. And what are you expressing? You're expressing, oh, I should have done that. We've had this in a couple of different ways. Here's a new one for you. 갈 걸 그랬어. Yeah.
Right.
Should have
Here
gone.
we had I should have followed you there. 따라갈 걸 그랬어. Okay, I should have followed you there. With some other sentences that we can use this in, I'll give you an example. Okay. I always say this. I catch cabs all the time, and then it took an hour and a half to get there. So I'm always saying, I should have caught the subway. 지하철을 탈 걸 그랬어. I should have ridden the subway. Naomi, try that.
지하철을 탈 걸 그랬어.
Okay. Do you want to try that?
지하철 탈 걸 그랬어.
Okay, we can say 지하철 탈 걸 그랬어, but we want to be careful. We want to add the 을 there. 지하철을 탈 걸 그랬어.
Should have ridden the subway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say that a lot. Sometimes I get in that taxi and then get stuck in traffic. I should have ridden the subway.
Okay, well, let's go on to our flash animation. Let's go check out what we learned today. Here's Wrap It Up.
Wrap it up.
With Lisa.
And Steven.
리사, 어디가?
응, 미팅하러 가.
정말이야? 나도 따라가도 돼?
어떻게 하지? 말을 안 할 걸 그랬어.
너도 따라와.
Okay, in Wrap It Up, we got to review just a little bit of what we learned today. And we heard a new word, perhaps if you're not living in Korea.
That you might think is an old word.
Right, this is something that you're never going to discover until you come here yourself. Okay, the ting culture, okay, like as in T-I-N-G. Now, what does this mean, Steve?
Yeah, meeting is not meeting as we would think of it in America. That would be hey. Hey is what the Koreans use for meeting, a normal meeting, business meetings, a function like that. But here, meeting is when somebody arranges a date for you.
In other words, a blind date.
That's right.
And the interesting thing is it doesn't have to be one-on-one here. Here, the more popular thing to do is to have several girls and several guys meeting together, and what they do is they'll eat and drink, and then at the end of the day,
Lisa would get 2 of her friends, and then I would get 2 of my friends, and then the 6 of us would go
like
meet together and hang out.
right, a triple blind date, okay, and of course it can be one-on-one, and then the other one we
That's
heard,
meeting, yeah.
and it's 소개팅 is
We didn't hear that, but yeah, 소개팅, 소개 is introduce, right? 소개팅 is, that's more of a blind date, I guess, isn't it? When one-on-one, you're set up on a one-on-one blind date by one of your friends.
That's right.
Dating culture is very different.
very different, but very fun, very interesting. It's very in tune with the younger culture here.
Well, you can't go to a bar and talk to other people at the bar. You might notice in the Korean culture, everybody talks only with the people who they already know. You don't mingle so much in Korea.
We'll see you here next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.